Right now, there's a good chance you have a secret weapon sitting in your kitchen, and it costs less than $1. It's not a fancy spray, it's not a plug-in gadget, and it's definitely not the $150 an hour exterminator your neighbor keeps calling. It's baking soda. That little orange box you keep in the back of your fridge to soak up odors? It turns out the same humble powder that makes your cookies rise and your sink sparkle is also one of the most underrated pest fighters around the house. Ants, roaches, slugs, fungus on your tomatoes. Baking soda has a trick for all of them. Now, you won't hear this from the big pest control companies, and that makes sense. There's no money in telling you that a 70-cent box of sodium bicarbonate can handle a problem they'd love to charge you for month after month. But the science is real, the methods are simple, and the savings add up fast. So before you sign another pricey pest control contract, let me show you what that little box can really do. Grab your baking soda and let's get into it. Number 1. Knock out cockroaches with a sugar trap. Let's start with the pest that makes everyone's skin crawl, the cockroach. And here's the hack the exterminators would rather you didn't know about. Baking soda mixed with a little sugar. The way it works is actually pretty clever. On its own, a roach has zero interest in baking soda. You can sprinkle it around all day, and they will walk right past it. That's why the sugar matters. Roaches are drawn to anything sweet. So when you mix equal parts baking soda and sugar, the sugar acts as the bait and lures them in. Once they eat the mixture, the baking soda reacts with the moisture and acids inside their digestive system, producing gas that builds up pressure they can't release. That pressure is what does them in. To try it, mix equal parts baking soda and granulated sugar, then divide it onto a few shallow lids or paper plates. Place them in the spots where roaches like to travel, under the sink, behind the fridge, along baseboards, and in dark corners of the bathroom and kitchen. Now, I'll be straight with you, because this channel is about what actually works, not magic promises. Baking soda is not an instant roach killer, and it will not wipe out a massive infestation on its own. It takes time. The roaches have to eat enough of it, and you will need to refresh the bait. But for keeping a small problem in check without dousing your kitchen in chemicals, it's a cheap, low-toxicity first line of defense. And that's something the pros aren't exactly advertising. Number 2. Send ants back to their colony carrying poison. Ants are sneaky. You kill the ones marching across your counter, and a fresh wave shows up the next morning. That's because the ones you see are just foot soldiers. The real problem is the colony hidden somewhere out of sight. Spray the visible ants and you've barely scratched the surface. This is exactly where baking soda shines, and it uses the ants' own teamwork against them. Just like with roaches, plain baking soda won't tempt an ant. But mix it with powdered sugar, about a 1-to-1 ratio, and now you've got bait they can't resist. The worker ants find the sweet powder, haul it back to the nest, and feed it to the rest of the colony, including the queen. When they ingest the baking soda, it reacts inside them much the way it does with roaches. Use powdered sugar rather than the granulated kind here, since it blends more evenly with the baking soda and the ants can't pick out just the sugar grains. Sprinkle small piles wherever you see ants entering, windowsills, door frames, cracks in the baseboard, and along their trails. If you can find the actual nest outside, circle it with the mixture for the best shot at reaching the whole colony. For tougher, grease-loving ants like fire ants, a sweet bait may not interest them as much. In that case, try mixing the baking soda with a dab of peanut butter instead, since those ants are after protein and fat. Either way, you're letting the ants do the hard work of delivering the treatment for you, and no exterminator is required. Number 3. Dry out slugs and snails in the garden. If you've ever walked out to your garden in the morning and found your seedlings chewed to ribbons with a shiny slime trail running across the soil, you've met the slug. These soft-bodied pests, along with their cousins the snails, can flatten a row of lettuce or strawberries practically overnight. Baking soda is one of the simplest ways to stop them, and it comes down to basic science. Slugs and snails are essentially soft, moist bodies with no protective shell to speak of. And baking soda is hygroscopic, meaning it pulls moisture out of whatever it touches. When the powder makes contact with a slug, it draws the water right out of its body, dehydrating it. You've got a couple of ways to use this. If you spot slugs or snails actively munching, you can lightly sprinkle the baking soda directly on them. Just a pinch does the job. If a snail ducks into its shell, a little powder dusted into the opening still reaches it. For a more hands-off approach, sift a light dusting of baking soda onto the soil around the base of vulnerable plants to create a barrier they don't want to cross. One important tip: keep the powder on the soil and off your plant's leaves and stems as much as possible, and don't go overboard. Baking soda contains sodium, and too much of it in your garden bed can stress your plants and build up in the soil over time. A light, targeted hand is all you need, and you'll skip the expensive slug pellets entirely. Number 4. Stop powdery mildew before it spreads. Not every pest has legs. If you grow squash, cucumbers, roses, or zinnias, you've probably battled powdery mildew, that ghostly white coating that creeps across the leaves, blocks sunlight, and slowly weakens the whole plant. Garden centers will happily sell you a fungicide for it, but you may already own the fix. Baking soda has been used as a homemade fungicide for generations, and there's real research behind it. Cornell University studies helped popularize baking soda sprays for powdery mildew control, and the mechanism is straightforward. When you coat the leaves, the baking soda raises the pH on the leaf surface, creating an alkaline environment that fungal spores struggle to germinate and grow in. To make the spray, mix about 1 tablespoon of baking soda into a gallon of water, then add a few drops of liquid dish soap and a tablespoon of horticultural or vegetable oil. The soap and oil help the solution. Cling to the leaves instead of just running off. Spray it on your plants early in the morning so the leaves can dry before the harsh midday sun, and reapply about once a week and after heavy rain. Here's the honest part. Baking soda works best as a preventative measure, or on the earliest signs of mildew. It changes the conditions on the leaf so the fungus can't take hold, but it won't magically cure a plant that's already heavily infected. Catch it early, stay consistent, and you can keep mildew from spreading across your whole garden for pennies a batch. Number 5. Kill weeds in sidewalk cracks. This one isn't a bug, but weeds are a pest in their own right, especially those stubborn ones sprouting through the cracks in your driveway, walkway, and patio. And expensive weed killers aren't your only option. Baking soda works as a natural weed killer for one simple reason. It contains salt, and in high enough concentrations, salt dehydrates plants and dries them out until they can't take up water anymore. Pour it on thick, and most small weeds will wither. The easiest method is to dampen the weed first so the powder sticks, then pour baking soda directly onto it and the cracks around it, roughly a teaspoon per weed, more for bigger ones. The moisture helps it cling and start working. But there's a big catch you need to hear, and it's the reason this trick belongs in cracks and not in your flower bed. Baking soda is non-selective, meaning it will damage or kill just about any plant it touches, not only the weeds you are targeting. So use it only in spots where you do not want anything growing: sidewalk seams, driveway edges, between pavers, gravel paths. Keep it well away from the grass, the garden, and any plant you actually like. Used in the right place, it's a cheap, chemical-free way to keep your hardscape clean. Number 6. Tackle fleas in your carpet. If you've got pets, you know fleas are a nightmare, and that professional flea treatments can cost a small fortune. Baking soda can help you fight back in the carpet, where fleas love to hide, lay eggs, and multiply. The trick is to pair it with regular table salt. Both baking soda and salt work by dehydrating, and the theory is that they dry out flea eggs and larvae buried deep in the carpet fibers. Mix equal parts baking soda and salt. Sprinkle the mixture generously across your carpets and rugs. Then use a stiff broom to brush it down into the base of the fibers. That's where the eggs and larvae are hiding. Leave it for several hours or overnight to do its work, then vacuum thoroughly. Now here's the honest truth, because you deserve the real picture. Baking soda is not a miracle cure for fleas. Adult fleas have a waxy, tough outer shell that resists drying out. So this method mainly targets the eggs and larvae, and the evidence for it is mixed. The single most effective thing you can do is actually vacuuming. It physically removes fleas at every life stage. Baking soda and salt are a cheap, low-toxicity helper in that process, not a standalone solution. So treat it as part of a routine. Sprinkle, brush in, wait, and vacuum every few days, since new eggs keep hatching, and always empty or seal the vacuum outside so the fleas don't escape. Combine that with treating your pet directly, and you've got a budget-friendly attack on a problem the pros love to bill you for repeatedly. Number 7. Wipe out drain flies at the source. Have you ever noticed tiny, fuzzy little flies hovering around your kitchen sink or bathroom drain, darting out like fireworks when you turn on the water? Those are drain flies, and swatting them is pointless. The adults you see are just the tip of the iceberg. Here's what most people get wrong. Drain flies breed in the slimy organic gunk, the biofilm that builds up inside your pipes. Spray the air all you want, but until you clean out that breeding ground, new flies just keep emerging. And this is where baking soda earns its keep. The classic move is the baking soda and vinegar combo, which works double duty here. Pour about half a cup of baking soda down the affected drain, followed by a cup of white vinegar. The two react and fizz vigorously, and that bubbling action helps scrub the grime, deodorize the pipe, and break down the organic film where the flies lay their eggs. For an even deeper clean, some folks add half a cup of salt to the mix. Let it sit for a few hours or overnight, then flush it all out with a kettle of boiling water. The key is consistency and hitting the actual source. Because you are cleaning out the breeding film rather than just killing adults, you are stopping the problem at its root. Run this treatment whenever you spot a drain fly. Keep your drains clean as a habit, and you will cut off the next generation before it ever takes flight. You will not need a plumber or exterminator on speed dial. Number 8. Erase the odors that invite pests in. Here's a secret the pest pros really do not emphasize. A huge part of pest control is simply not attracting pests in the first place. And one of the biggest magnets for ants, roaches, fruit flies, and rodents is the smell of food and garbage. Guess what baking soda is famous for? Absorbing odors. That's not folklore, it is the same reason you keep an open box in your fridge. Baking soda neutralizes and absorbs odor-causing compounds and moisture, and when you take away the scent trail, you take away the dinner bell that draws pests toward your kitchen. Put it to work in the places that attract the most attention. Sprinkle a generous layer of baking soda in the bottom of your trash can, under the bag or liner, to soak up the rotting food smells that fruit flies and other pests home in on. Refresh it whenever the can starts to stink, and use it to scrub the can clean now and then too. Keep that classic open box in the fridge to kill food odors, and sprinkle a little in the bottom of your compost bin or diaper pail to cut the smell that bugs find irresistible. You can even dust baking soda over your carpets and entry mats. Let it sit to absorb trapped odors, then vacuum it up. It will not kill anything in this role, but by erasing the scents that say free food this way, you are quietly making your home far less inviting to pests before they ever show up. Prevention, after all, is the cheapest pest control there is. Number 9. Defend your plants from soft-bodied insects. For our last one, let's go back out to the garden, where aphids, certain caterpillars, and other soft-bodied insects can quietly drain the life out of your vegetables and flowers. Once again, baking soda gives you a gentle, low-cost way to push back without reaching for harsh chemical pesticides. You can use it 2 ways. The first is a light dusting of dry baking soda over the soil around the base of your plants, which helps deter and discourage soft-bodied crawlers like small slugs and certain insects from setting up shop. Its drying, alkaline nature is simply unpleasant for them to cross. Reapply after it rains, since water washes the powder away. The second is a spray, similar to the fungicide from earlier, but doing double duty against pests. Mix a tablespoon of baking soda into a gallon of water with a few drops of mild liquid soap and a little vegetable oil. Then spray it on the leaves and stems where aphids cluster, usually on the undersides and along new growth. The solution coats the soft-bodied insects and the soap helps break them down, while the same spray discourages fungal trouble at the same time. As always, moderation is the rule with baking soda in the garden. Spray in the cool of early morning or evening rather than under blazing sun. Keep applications light, and don't drench the soil, since too much sodium can harm the very plants you're protecting. Used with a careful hand, it's a tidy 2-in-1 garden defender, and another reason that little box punches way above its price. The honest truth: what baking soda won't do. Before you go declaring war on every bug in the house, here's the part the clickbait articles skip, and the part that proves I'm being straight with you. Baking soda is a fantastic, cheap tool, but it is not a cure-all. There are pests it simply can't handle. Bed bugs are a perfect example. Despite all the home remedies floating around online, baking soda doesn't kill them, and treating bed bugs with it just wastes time while the problem gets worse. The same goes for termites, which can do serious structural damage to your home and absolutely require professional inspection and treatment. And while baking soda can disrupt where flies breed, it won't solve a heavy fly problem on its own. So think of baking soda as your first line of defense and your everyday maintenance tool. Brilliant for small infestations, prevention, gardens, and keeping problems from snowballing. But when you're facing a true infestation, especially anything that threatens your health or your house, that's when calling a real professional is money well spent. Knowing the difference is what saves you the most in the long run. And there you have it. 9 ways that one little box of baking soda can take the place of a whole shelf of pricey sprays, traps, and service calls. It's cheap, it's gentle on your home, and it's probably sitting in your pantry right now just waiting to be put to work. The truth is, so many of the products and services we're told we need are really just the expensive version of something we could do ourselves for next to nothing. A little know-how goes a long way, and your wallet feels the difference every single time. So the next time a pest shows up uninvited, reach for that orange box before you reach for your credit card. If this video saved you a few bucks or taught you something new, do me a favor and hit that like button. It's free, and it helps these videos reach more people who could use the savings. And if you want more clever, common sense tips to stop wasting money and make the most of what you've already got, go ahead and subscribe and turn on notifications so you never miss one. Your wallet will thank you. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.